Valentine's Day, week today. A lot of partners getting ready to celebrate. Podcast host, the Juggle is real, that is. Andryanna Gonko joins us with some ways to prioritize your marriage and not just on these special occasions. Welcome back to the show, Andryanna. Why is it crucial connecting with your partner, just not on these special occasions?
Good morning, Tim. You know what? I think it's great to commemorate all the special occasions, and it's wonderful to celebrate Valentine's Day and anniversaries, birthdays, all of those things. But those only amount to a few days a year. And so it's important that those aren't the only days that we are making an effort in our marriage. I'm sure you've heard the saying, it's the little things that count. And so when we're talking about making time for marriage, it's going to be those small ways every single day that you are showing your spouse that each of you are making one another a priority. And so when we can do these small things every day, we can feel better balance in making time for our marriage versus maybe feeling neglect or resentment and building up too much pressure on those few days a year in terms of trying to make them perfect.
Okay, do you have ways to do that? Because I see here that you have 3 kids, much like I have 3 kids. I'm assuming you've locked yourself in your bedroom right now to do this, so they're not bugging you?
Yes, I've got grandparents in the basement keeping the kids quiet while I am here with you, Tim, and I'm sure you can relate, with the kids and activities, careers, appointments every week. Things are very busy, and sometimes it feels like my husband and I are 2 ships passing in the night. And so there's not going to be tons of free time to just, wait around. So that's why we have to make time, right? Author Gary Chapman, in his popular book, Five Love Languages, he said that together time, that quality time really should be uninterrupted. That togetherness is really important. But what I have found is that when we try to do this in short bursts, that's when we can really make it work. So I've come up with a little 3 C's reminder to make sure that we're carving time, and that is to communicate, to connect, and to celebrate.
Okay, so let's start with communicate. It sounds obvious. How do we do it?
It sounds obvious, and you're probably thinking, all I do is communicate with my spouse all day long, right? And I would argue that 9 times out of 10, the communication that's happening is talking about, the daily to-do list, the tasks at hand, who's picking up who and who's making dinner. And usually that's where the conversation ends. But when we're talking about, that relationship perspective and making time for your marriage, it's going to be sharing a little bit more, your hopes and dreams, your aspirations, your goals. And we have to really make time to do this. Now, in his book of essays, Dr. Benjamin Hardy shared something that was, I thought, really interesting. He said that he and his wife spend 2 minutes doing a visualization every week. And then after those 2 minutes, they share what ideas came up for them, what they were visualizing. And I think this is a really great way to communicate. You could apply this to how you want the week to go, or how you want the month to be, what your next family vacation is going to be, or how you see your future's retirement and onwards. The sky is endless and options are limitless, but you're spending that time in a short burst to communicate with one another more than just the to-do list.
We only got under a minute left, so let's use the connect and the celebrate together. And how do we do that?
Yes, when we're talking about connect, we're going to take the phones away. No technology. Grab a puzzle, a board game. Come together in a way that's a little bit more meaningful, that's going to be more effective than just scrolling in front of the TV with your phone. And when we're talking about celebrate, we're looking again to those little things. What can you do every single day to show one another that you appreciate one another? Celebrate those small things. Come up with 3 things every day that you truly loved and appreciated that your spouse did. Making a cup of coffee, helping with the dishes, those types of things, because what we focus on expands, Tim.
Great stuff. Podcast host, The Juggle is real, Andryanna Gonko. How long are you going to stay in your room for before you go back downstairs and relieve your parents?
It's so quiet here, you got me. You got me.
Just give it time. Just give it space. Just say the interview went a little bit long. All right. Great to see you.